Have won here, and to make it in this sport, you must add your name to the pier. The Manhattan Beach Open is back, and we've got it for you next on Fox Sports Net.
We are back in Southern California for the granddaddy of them all. Welcome back, everyone, to Manhattan Beach, California, as we bring it to you coast to coast on Fox Sports Net. It's Pro Beach Volleyball, the AVP Sun-Kissed Manhattan Open. Hello again, everybody, and welcome. I'm Bill McDonald, alongside, as always, is MD Mike Dodd, and we are back and glad to be back at the Mecca of Pro Beach Volleyball, Manhattan Beach. Mike, you won this tournament 5 times in a row, and your entire career cannot be complete if you're a Pro Beach player unless you win right here.
I think if you ask any player on tour, they'd say the same. You just got to win the Manhattan Open. It's the thing that defines you as a player. It's got so much history. We're standing here on top of the pier. You've got all the players' names and plaques along the pier. You got Jimmy Mingus, Matt Gage, Ron Von Hagen, St. John Smith, Stokey. You've got all the greatest players to ever play. You want your name with those guys, you got to win the Manhattan Open.
And ironically enough, Jim Mingus will play a part in our final today because Jose Loiola and Emmanuel Rego are back after absolutely dominating the world in volleyball over the last 2 months, where they have been unbeatable. They have made it back to the AVP, and they are in our final.
Billy Mack, maybe the fans are a little confused, dominating the tour for the last 2 months. Not on the AVP tour, on the FIVB tour. They got out there. Emmanuel, I've talked to him earlier, he said, you know, we won that first tournament. We'd been playing so lousy, putting so much pressure on ourselves on the AVP tour. All of a sudden, everything fell into place. They won 6 straight tournaments, set a record on the FIVB tour. They're back here in Manhattan for the first full field. They've blown through everyone, and they're just playing smooth as butter.
And if you are not familiar, Jimmy Mingus, the part he plays, he is their coach. He'll be down on the sand getting ready, and they will take on Whitmarsh and Swatik as Swatik tries to make it 2 in a row in the South Bay with his partner. We are just about set to go for the introduction of the players. We're back at Manhattan. We have a tandem for the introductions. Marvin Hall with a microphone and Jimmy Arico. Take it away, men.
Thank you, Billy McDonald, and thank you, Mike Dodd. How we doing, Manhattan Beach? Marvelous Marvin Hall, Jimmy Arico bringing you all the action, baby. Talk to me, Manhattan Beach. Let's meet our finalists. The first AVP team to qualify for the Sydney Olympics in 2000. Say hello to Jose Loiola. Jose's partner, the young phenom out of Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana Beach, Brazil, Emmanuel Rego. And folks, their opponent, the hometown boy from Manhattan Beach and Maricosta High School. Give it up for my guy, David Swatik! Not that I need to get any lower, but he is the biggest block on the beach from San Diego. He's lovable, he's huggable, he's squeezable. It's Mike Whitmarsh! Pump it up, man. Come on, let me hear ya.
I do believe that Chris McGee is rubbing off on Marvin Hall. Good job, gentlemen. Playing conditions, overcast, cool. The breeze might pick up, but it's not a huge factor right now. Although you can see the big flag as they're rolling pretty good up and over, but it's kind of blowing straight off the water and into us. This sand, though, much different than we've been used to, Mike Dodd.
Sand deep and thick. It hasn't seemed to have much effect on the jumping ability of Loiola, Manuel. The guys rise so well out of the sand. Maybe a little break for Whitmarsh and Swatik with this overcast weather.
MD, keys to the match.
Well, I think Swatik's got to catch fire. He's got to show the same kind of animation that he's had like Phenoim one of the weekends before.
Let's go to Hobb downstairs. Timothy.
Down here in Manhattan Beach, the mother of all battles. the Wimbledon of beach volleyball. It doesn't matter if you're tired, doesn't matter if you're hurt. This is the finals of Manhattan. You win this, you get your name on the pier. That means you're one of the best volleyball players ever. Let's get ready to rumble. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Hav. And speaking of tired and hurt, that's exactly what Whitmarsh and Swatik are. Swati stubbed a toe, turned it over a couple of matches ago, and in the semifinal, Mike Whitmarsh a couple of times needed a rub down due to back spasms, so not operating at 100%. And serving it up, David Swatik and Mike Whitmarsh, they will have the benefit of the crowd squarely on their side. Trust me, right there defensively, David Swatik, what a way to start, 1-0.
And Billy Mack, what do they say? The wounded dog may be the most dangerous dog of all. And for Jose Loyola, Manuel, they've been playing great all weekend. They don't want to get tight right now. You know Swatik, Whitmarsh, they got nothing to lose. They're injured. They're going to play loose, and they're going to let the crowd set the emotional tone for the match.
About 25 minutes ago, doing battle down here were Whitmarsh and Swatik against Karai and Johnson. Emmanuel and Loyola, good 4 hours ago when they played last. But they have been virtually unbeatable over the last 2 months. They won 6 tournaments internationally. At one point, won 21 straight matches. And they have found their game, but they have yet to win this year on the AVP Tour. Swatik. That one's going to be pounded just wide. And we're tied at 1. Loiola and Rego going to take a quick break and be right back. 1-1, just getting things underway at Manhattan.
Billy Mack, you gotta love Matt Unger, a crowd favorite, finishing 7th, a couple of big upset wins. And for Eugenio and Adam Jewell, watch out for them. Eugenio's experienced, Jewell's young, a lot of talent. Could be a team to watch for in the future.
But they all want to finish #1. Let's get back to our championship action.
Nice break for Mike Whitmarsh on that. Emmanuel just ripping the jump serve down the line. Whitty didn't even move. Ball just landing a few inches outside the line.
You spoke of retro, and we are back to having the beach chairs all around here. No stands. You bring your beach chair, you bring your towel, you get the best seat in the house. In fact, I was patrolling the front row before the match, and there was one group of fans right behind Loiola, right near where he is right now, about to serve, that got here at 5 o'clock this morning to get in the front row. Swati can't get there, and Jose Loiola, the Brazilian bomber that time, with the nice serve and the ace, and it's 2-1.
Jose Loiola, so much more confident than we saw him 2 months ago in Hermosa Beach. He and Emmanuel on a roll. They're just ripping jump serves and letting the physical nature of their volleyball take control over matches.
Tough pass that time by Whitmarsh. Pounds it. Look at the one-handed easy dig by Jose. Blocked by Swatik. Oh!
Billy Mack, right when you think Brazil's going to head out to a 3-1 roller coaster lead, David Swatik coming up with a huge point-saving roof on Jose Loiola. Those little plays in the early part of the match, not letting Brazil get off to a big jump, that's what could make the difference for Swatik and Whitmarsh.
Emmanuel Rego gets up so high, and that time right down the middle. Emmanuel and Loiola, interesting. They have been all over the world. They're from Brazil, but they're making their home in the South Bay, so this is a bit of a homecoming for them also. Swati, soft. This has got to go right here, and Loiola pounds it down the line. They are a well-oiled machine, ladies and gentlemen. You can just tell they are bubbling over with confidence and talent right now.
The body language, look at Jose Loiola. After he puts this ball away down the line, he's so pumped up, he's so focused. He says, Emmanuel, it's time to get your name on the pier.
Oh, the Walk of Fame of all the great stars. It's going to be a net. Mike Whitmarsh with the net, and we're going to take a quick turn at 4-1. And Whitty and Swati not the start that they wanted against the #1 seed out here, Loiola and Emmanuel.
And Billy Mack, I was talking to Emmanuel earlier. He said, you know, growing up, we didn't know a lot about the Manhattan Open, but having Mingus as a coach, he's been telling all the old stories.
I don't know if they were technically #1, but they deserve to be. We'll be back with more after this. Manhattan Beach, California. Lovely. Southern California. We're glad you're with us coast to coast on Fox Sports Net. I'm Billy Mack. MD Mike Dodd is alongside, and the Hob is patrolling the sand. Mike Dodd, Tim Hovland live very close to here. In fact, grew up playing right down the street at Marine Beach. Marine Street, rather, I should say. Any afternoon, you could find both of them honing the craft. Swatik, easily dug by Emmanuel. Swatik again. And Loiola there, but didn't get any help from the equipment. And Swatik and Whitmarsh will get an opportunity. We're going to 15. You must win by 2 with a 9-minute clock.
Again, Billy Mack, we see a lot of defense, not able to put that ball away when it's off the net. Tough break for Loiola. Great diving defensive effort. Just didn't catch the bottom of the net.
Emmanuel, big pound. Added sweet smoke right there from Rego. Good set, too, by Jose Loiola. Not going to see a lot of hand setting from either one of these two teams.
And Billy Mack, we got to keep a keen eye on Mike Whitmarsh right now. He's having the back spasms, but they occurred when he was really warmed up against Karai Johnson in the earlier match. He still continued to be effective. Right now, he looks very stiff up there, especially in the blocking position.
Takes a little off of that one. So that is an excellent point. Mike Whitmarsh massaged a couple of times during that last match.
Then you get a good shot of Mike Whitmarsh walking David Swatik back to the service line, giving him a little encouragement and letting him know what he's going to be doing there up at the net, helping Swatik to set up his defensive play.
It was that teacher-student relationship that we saw in Hermosa. This is a rematch of that final, by the way. One of our most exciting. Look out. That's a six-pack right there. Little facial disgracial off of Jose Loiola, and Jose is loving every second of that one.
I think Jose might order up a little Brahma shop.
Swatik's got to get that little embarrassment out of the way.
Not a lot you want to say about that. It just happens to every player, especially when you're dealing with guys at this level.
And right after that big play, Emmanuel puts it into the net.
A lot of times when a guy takes one right off the noggin, you want to go back to him, see how he's doing, see how he's oriented. I think Emmanuel almost trying to guide that ball like a pitcher that's aiming instead of just throwing, hitting the serve in the net.
Gave them a break that time. Look at this ball rolling off, and Whitty goes to get it. Trying to stay in the point. Loiola deep. Whitmarsh all over the place. If his back's going to get loose, it'll be on this point. Best rally of the match by far. How about that ball rolling and rolling and rolling, and Whitmarsh tracking it down earlier in the rally.
And that's the key to the whole play. Mike Whitmarsh never gave up on that ball for a second, tracked it 20 feet across the side of the net. Unfortunately, couldn't really give Swatik a real good set to swing at. Here's the roll right here. Whitmarsh just tracking the ball, keeping with it. What an athlete. He just couldn't give Swatik a real good ball to swing at. That led to the long rally, ultimately with Emmanuel putting the ball way down the middle.
Jose will serve it up on the launching pad. Swatik uses the equipment that time. How's the wind affecting play right now, MD?
I don't think there's any effect whatsoever. It's just a slight breeze. These players are used to playing in far, far worse conditions. It's actually ideal right now, not so much as a fan. The fan would love to have the sun out and just be baking out here. The players like it cool.
Swatik, that one just went over the net. That was a great serve, and it benefits them with a point. So David Swatik, if he can get dialed in with that serve, that would be oh so important to their cause to try to upset Loiola and Emmanuel.
Very much so. Big key to the match. Swatik's got to get that jump serve going. At least 4 or 5 aces or trouble plays will be mandatory for Whitmarsh and Swatik to be able to compete with this Brazilian team right now.
Swatik again. This will be Emmanuel. That was driven right into the waiting arms of Swatik. By the way, before the last break, I had mentioned that Loiola and Emmanuel, the #1 seeds. Well, technically, of course, they are not on the AVP tour. But if you seeded them in order of how they've been playing the last couple of months, no matter where it is, easily they would be the top team.
And I think right now we've seen Whitmarsh and Swatik serving a lot of balls to Emmanuel. Emmanuel seems to really be tuned into Whitmarsh's block. He's seeing where Whitmarsh is going. He's beating the ball in the opposite directions. Look, if that doesn't continue to succeed for Whitmarsh and Swatik to switch it up and go to Loiola.
So much of it is recognition. Swatik, good play. Can Whitty set it? David, no. And the collective groan from this huge throng, 10, 15 deep around the court.
And again, another tough break for Whitmarsh and Swatik. Good point opportunity, unable to get themselves a real good set and a real good ball to swing at.
There it is, Manhattan Beach, the Wimbledon of pro beach volleyball. As Bob alluded to at the start. Swatik with a nice swing. Down the middle it goes and finds sand, side out. So things have settled down a little bit now. It's 4-2, Loiola and Emmanuel with 6:52 remaining. You might recall that final in Hermosa went to overtime. It was Loiola and Emmanuel with an unbelievable point at the end of regulation to send it to OT, and right there, Swatik with the ace.
And what kind of effect, thinking back to the Hermosa Open, is that going to have on David Swatik here in Manhattan? He's been there before, he's worked through it. That's got to help him confidence-wise going into this final.
Yeah, he's been through it on this center stage and against this team. Now, Emmanuel's really swinging well, especially down the middle. If I'm Whitty, I'd try to make him try that line once or twice.
And there you see Mike Whitmarsh walking back to the reception area saying, Swatik, that's my fault. Very late getting up on that block. Real nice quick set from Loiola.
Working Whitmarsh. Good dig. Emmanuel again, playing well. Swatik says not this time, though. Right past the waving drive, Emmanuel Rego.
And I think this is a real good example of where a coach can really help a team. You got Jimmy Mingus on the sideline for the Brazilians. They'd serve Swatik 3 or 4 serves in a row. David's getting in the groove, ripping the ball for side outs. All of a sudden, they just switch it up and go short to Whitmarsh.
Short that time to Emmanuel. Swatik's there, but that net a little tight. Jimmy Mingus, the coach of Loiola and Emmanuel. We'll get a look at Jimmy later on in this match, undoubtedly.
There's a good shot of Emmanuel right there. I've never seen that guy breathe hard. Incredible shape.
Good hustle there by Swatik. Block. Emmanuel. Loiola with the pound. Andy, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is as good as I've seen Emmanuel play. He's just flawless right now.
Well, what a great play he had on that one. A lot of times that ball that sneaks between the block and the net is just impossible to pick up. Emmanuel, incredible reactions. Gets that ball up into the air, nice and high, giving his partner Jose Loiola plenty of room to swing, and Jimmy the Mingo loves that kind of play.
Ask and you shall receive from our great crew. That was Jim Mingus, won this tournament 5 times with 4 different partners. A little joust won by Emmanuel, who really got up the ladder that time. You know, you win this tournament 5 times in a row. To win it with 4 different partners, that's something special.
It's quite a feat. Jimmy the Ming, one of the greatest defensive players to ever play. And that's the intensity, especially on the defensive end, that he brings to Emmanuel and Loiola. He keeps them focused.
Sand timeout. And up on the pier is Manhattan Beach's own Tim Hovland.
Manhattan Open Award Ceremony.
This is the Manhattan Pier. You win this, you get your plaque on the pier. You're in the Walk of Fame. They add to the mystique of the Manhattan Open, the view from up here. As you can see, lined up with hundreds of people watching the Open go down. Nothing better than Manhattan Open. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hov. His name is up there. We're going to take a break. Be right back. Manhattan Beach after this. Serving it up as we welcome you back. Donald Mike Dodd and Tim Hovland, coast to coast on Foxnet Pro Beach Volleyball, the sun-kissed AVP Manhattan Open. We are back. And David Swatik is certainly back with that big kill. It is 6-3, Loiola and Emmanuel trying to win their first tournament this year on the AVP Tour. Swatik and Whitmarsh have won a couple of times.
And here we are, Billy, at one of those early critical points of the match. If you're Swatik and Whitmarsh, you want to get that 6-4 side switch. You don't want to let the Brazilians get up 7-3.
Whitmarsh, yes! And Whitty gives it the fist ups, and you betcha. We'll take the turn
2-point ball game.
in a moment.
David Swatik.
But back at Manhattan Beach, the AVP Sun-Kissed Open, and the AVP has tentatively set their schedule for next year, the year 2000. Tickets go on sale November 1st at 3 p.m. To order tickets, please call Ticketmaster or go online at www.avptour.com. Some great sites, including Myrtle Beach. You don't think MD and I are going to take our golf clubs there, do ya? There's some other. Oh, we're back in Phoenix. Look that early in the year.
Gotta
April
love
29th
Phoenix.
and 30.
Clearwater's always great. Chicago, Hermosa. Great looking schedule.
Santa Barbara for the Karch Kirai Classic. And we'll end it all once again in Las Vegas. And the King of the Beach is coming up later on in September. Big hit, and Whitmarsh going to the other side of the net. Looking for a fair catch.
Like a cheetah. Waiting like a cheetah.
6-4 is our score. Our championship final, the last regular AVP tournament of the year. And then the best players, the 14 best, will converge on the city that never sleeps. Third weekend in September, and we will be there for the King of the Beach. Eric Fenoy Moana is the reigning champ. Swatik, Tooling, Jose Loiola.
And again, a real nice example of Whitmarsh's speed and quickness. Kind of a shank pass for Swatik. Whitmarsh really showing a lot of quickness, getting over there, giving him a good set to swing at, saving the side out for his team.
Swatik with the bad toe, Whitty with the bad back. Facing a great team, trying to overcome adversity. Loiola block, Whitmarsh, does he have it? Almost. Great effort, wonderful hustle by two finely tuned athletes, Whitmarsh and Swatik, but Loiola just too much for them.
Billy, again, just another great display of athleticism for Mike Whitmarsh. You just don't realize how hard it is to go up there, block that ball, then look up again and kind of track it coming off your block. Whitmarsh, one of the best at doing that. He didn't have a lot of indoor experience. He just kind of came out the beach and it was something natural. Blocking was in his blood.
You can tell, though, he is laboring. And a bad serve by Loiola. But the Brazilians, resplendent in their black tank tops. They're coming out looking mean.
Did you get that?
Great serve. Emmanuel reacting a little late. A serve he normally would get, I would think.
And Billy Mack, you said it before, a little bit of adversity, that's not always a bad thing for a team, especially psychologically. It gets the crowd even more on their side. It gets them pumped up, making plays that they don't normally make because they know they got to help each other out. And like I said, sometimes when you've got a wounded team, that is the most dangerous team because they loosen up and they play so well.
And you could see the momentary hesitation of Emmanuel when he was about to receive that serve. David Swatik taking that volleyball off the head. There's Mike Whitmarsh. Could have played basketball as a professional career. Came out on the sand and, as you said, took to it very quickly. And you were fortunate enough to win an Olympic medal with Whitty. Now David Swatik. And as much as that Hermosa win meant to Swatik, this would mean even more.
Way more.
Loiola off the block. No touch. How about this comeback? We're tied at 6.
And Billy, maybe lost on it all. We're talking about Swatik being the hometown boy. Mike Whitmarsh, a phenomenal career, yet no Manhattan Open for Whitmarsh either, and don't think he doesn't want to get his name on that pier.
A lot of side stories to be played out. 6-6 is our score. Again, Emmanuel having problems. And how about this? Swatik and Whitmarsh have the lead.
I don't know, Billy, do you think the crowd's loving it out there?
And they are hoping to build to a crescendo. Long, long way to go.
Good shot here, David Swatik. Excuse me, Billy. He's just doing what he has to do. Rip that jump serve.
Block, Whitmarsh! No, sir.
Billy Mack, you want to talk about getting big? Mike Whitmarsh, huge at the net, roofing that ball straight down. Incredible cover by Emmanuel, almost saving the play. Whitmarsh doing what he's got to do, putting up the wall, and Swatik ripping that jump serve in Brazil. Jimmy Mingus, a well-timed timeout.
Well, we talked about when these two teams met in Hermosa. They met earlier in the winners bracket final, and that was an easy win for the Brazilians.
The Brazilians just rolled, but this is the finals. This is the crowd into it, and that's Whitmarsh with his head over the net, putting the clamp on Loiola. And Loiola does not like Whitmarsh. Whitmarsh can get to Loiola, maybe even more so than Emmanuel.
Personally?
No. They get along well.
Oh, okay.
No. I meant like most players on the AVP tour.
Like
no one likes going up against his block.
Thank you for clearing that up. Our good buddy Mike Whitmarsh in charge, 8-6. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Manhattan Beach, the sun-kissed AVP Open, and to Tim Hovland, please.
I don't think it's good.
We're here in the VIP tent. Who's your favorite team here?
Oh my God, Swatik!
Who?
Swatik!
Swatik, of course. Who's your favorite player out here?
I'm going to have to go with Swatik, the local.
It's the Swatik local fans down here, no doubt about it. Guys, back to you.
Well done, my friend Tim Hovland. Well done.
Gotta love Billy D.
Running the South Bay. He's the king. Loiola. Swatik, exasperated at himself, thought that he had that dig.
Well, Swatik set it all up with another huge jump serve. Loiola, nice control and a huge side out for Brazil. They really needed to stop the bleeding there.
Down by 2, here's Emmanuel. Pushed out, tight set. But Swatik negotiated it very well. By the way, I see Billy Berger, who is running the AVP this year, down below us. And this being the last regular tournament of the year, I want to shout out to everybody who has been involved, the staff, the officials, anybody who has done anything for the AVP this year and its comeback season. A huge thank you and a job well done. And I saw Billy a few minutes ago and I said, hey, just revel in it. Just go ahead and enjoy this because it's a huge crowd and a great final for you.
Well, you got to take your hat off to Billy. He's come out with the whole concept of let's get back to what really made beach volleyball great in the first place. And, you know, we don't have the bleachers and it's a whole different feel. And he's got to get a lot of credit for that.
8-6. Good play, Loiola. Whitty, got it. Good turn by Mike Whitmarsh. And another side out at 8-6.
Well, now we got to keep an eye on the Brazilians for the frustration factor. There's a good shot of
There's
Bill
the
Berger
boss.
having fun. You know what, Billy Berger, he's a businessman, and like anyone else, he's going to try to make a dollar, but he had the vision to say, let's get beach volleyball back on track. Let's find our soul. We've lost what our essence was. And that was really shrewd, I think, of him. And the AVP has really had a real nice summer, made a real nice move, not only as far as with the sponsors and the business community, but I think with their fans.
And back where we want to be, Manhattan Beach. Finally, all the infighting over. Swatik, he's pinpoint right now and taking away all the momentum. And as good as Emmanuel was playing early on, those 2 missed passes really changed things around, along with the 3 stuffed blocks that have been put up on the board by Whitmarsh and Swatik.
As opposed to no stuffed blocks so far for the Brazilians.
Jose turned it up and over and around Whitmarsh that time for the side out. And Loiola trying to get that fire back that he was exhibiting early on when he really had a bounce to his step. Pushed out for Whitmarsh. Now Jose from the right side. Not used to it over there. Oh, big play by Swatik. And look at that emotion from David.
Another huge point-saving side out for David Swatik coming up with the poor conversion by the Brazilians. They had a free ball, unable to pass and set themselves so well. Difficult play. As Whitmarsh and Swatik are getting more and more loose, what's happening to Loiola Manuel? They're getting more and more tight.
That serve into the net. First service error by Swatik and Whitmarsh. Gotta go get it, David Swatik. Not quite, so good serving that time. Not with the rocket chips, but with the touch up and over by the Brazilians. And we'll take a break, taking the turn at 8-7. Swatik Whitmarsh over Loiola and Emmanuel. Crowd excited, as they should be. And another excited individual, as always, is our very own Tim Hovland.
Whitney, you guys are up 8-7. What do you have to do to close this game out?
Swatik's got to keep serving well, and I got to get a couple more blocks, and more importantly, I got to side out. So we're playing well, so hopefully we can carry it through to the end of the game.
How's your back feeling?
Feels fine. Can't worry about your back in the finals, Hov. You know that.
Manhattan Open, go get him. Back to you guys.
Hov never worried about anything that was bothering him during a final. He went out there feeling a little pain many Sundays.
And I think
Mike championships.
And Billy, Mike Whitmarsh has the right attitude. You don't want, at 8-7, you don't think about closing out the match right now. You think about making a few more blocks, keeping your partner focused, getting him to keep that jump serve going, and keep the crowd with you, keep the momentum flowing, because this is going to be a war. It's not going to happen quickly. If it happens quickly, it might be Brazil winning quickly. If Whitmarsh and Swatik are going to win, it's going to be a war.
See if they can chip away again, leading 8-7, trying to get a side out. Looking to tie it up, Loiola. Whitmarsh will get there. But this should be a nice set for Emmanuel. It is, and down the line. Bam! We're tied at 8.
The eight's on the board, Rego.
Here we're going to see the end result of the free ball. Emmanuel seeing the block so well. You take his line, he rips cross court. You take his cross court, he rips line. It seems like a simple game. When you're up that high, it is.
I was wondering when Whitmarsh or Swatik was going to take away that middle, and they did right there. And Emmanuel, the big answer. There's one of those. Well, if you're playing golf and you're in between clubs, that's kind of what it's like. You're trying to dig it. It's in a very strange area in your body to try to make the play.
Defensively, Billy, you're expecting such a ball at a certain velocity. All of a sudden, it hits the block, it changes the angle, and more importantly, it changes the velocity of the ball. It's like a change-up in baseball. You're just out of sync.
Loiola up high that time.
Everybody.
Remember, this is deep Southern California, pure sand. You've got to really grovel if you're playing a lot of volleyball to keep your edge. You have to be in great shape.
Jose Loiola
House cleaning on the line.
049 regulation for crazy eights.
Tied at 8. 4 minutes to go on our clock. Whitmarsh. Off the block. Pretty good set by Swatik. He's setting him enough outside that he's able to deal around or through the block.
And Billy, another ball just ricocheting off the block of the Brazilians halfway through the match. Yet to get a stuff block is Jose Loiola and Emmanuel. You jump as high as they do, they've got to be blocking better than that.
Cool breeze in the face of David Swatik. I've got it, you take it. Dial in an ace for Swatik, the homie. 4 aces now dealt to Loiola and Emmanuel.
Well, we said it before, he needed 5. He's already at 4, and we're only halfway through the match. He might end up ending up with a few more. And the key for Swatik is the emotion after the ace, pumping the fist to his buddies in the stands, getting everyone fired up.
Emmanuel backs up and watches that one sail long, so maybe a little too much energy and emotion for Swatik. Emmanuel will not let it rip.
Shaka.
Love being back home. Hey, anything you can do, I can do also.
So you talk about the jumping, the elevation, the incredible jump serving ability of the Brazilians. How do they get their last 2 points on aces? Float serves, one short to Whitmarsh and one down the middle, with a lack of communication for Whitmarsh and Swatik.
Really knuckling under after it went over the tape. Our sun-kissed tape. Whitmarsh, he does it.
The roll shot down line, Mike Whitmarsh.
9-9. Hope you're enjoying our final in Manhattan. It has been a great summer of '99 and trying to close it out for you with an epic battle. Loiola, great turn. Look at that acute angle and with some substance too.
Oh, to be so gifted. These Brazilians, their ball control, the way they jump, the way they play. Jose Loiola, Manuel, the 2 most gifted volleyball players in the world right now.
But still looking for their first win on this tour. Loiola waiting for that one. Swatik was too, though. Read him like a comic book. Swatik, yes! Oh, my!
And Billy, we're just kind of chuckling here in the stand because if you know David Swatik, he's painfully shy. All of a sudden to see him pumping the fist, just playing to the crowd, it's a great thing to see the maturation of a player gaining that self-confidence and the chutzpah to get really into it and get the crowd going.
Ace, look at him!
Billy the Mac, that's 5.
Handful of aces. We're going to take a break. Be back in a moment. Swatik and Whitmarsh looking for a win. We are back. It's getting downright chilly as fall is coming on here in Manhattan Beach. Mac MD, Hav, bringing it to you, coast to coast on Fox Sports Net. Great serve! Swatik says, what else can I do? It's all me. It's all good.
Kind of reminds you of that one NBA championship game when Michael Jordan was so on fire against Portland, he just started running back down the court. I don't know what's happening. I can't do anything else. Everything's going right. And there you see David Swatik just saying, what else? Everything I touch is turning to gold right now.
Brings the crowd here in Manhattan to their feet. And Swatik and Whitmarsh fired up and 4 points away from a name on a pier. We are back and quickly down courtside. Hav is with Coach Jimmy Menges.
Jimmy Menges, tough battle out here.
Yeah, Swatik's serving out of his mind, so hopefully somehow they got to pass the ball. That's the difference in the game right now. Swatik's serving. He's got like 8 aces.
How about the mystique of Manhattan Open?
Love it. Love it.
Best ever?
Yeah, you got it, baby.
Back to you guys.
Two that have enjoyed sweet success in this setting, Tim Hovland and Jimmy Menges.
Billy Mack, it doesn't get much better than that. I love to just listen to Jim Menges talk about volleyball.
Side out till sunset. I'll never forget he and Greg Lee when they played together. That was exciting to watch. Loiola is exciting to watch here in 1999. Pounds that one to the middle. And the Brazilians just trying to call upon their composure now.
And that was a huge side out for Loiola. That was another great jump serve for David Swatik. Great ball control for Brazil. Time to calm things down. You're only down 2. You're on the good side. Let's see if Brazil can rally off a few points.
Manuel try to curl that one in, a la David Swatik. It hits the net. That's the 4th service error for Emmanuel. And it's not quite 8 aces for Swatik, it's 6. Although it seems like a lot more for Menges. Swatik getting his hand on just about everything.
And that ball sails 90 feet away from the net. Whitmarsh says, I'm quick, I'm fast, but I'm not that fast.
And he's big too. Even laid out stretch. Won't be able to get it.
That one's not going to happen.
Jose Loiola. Good serve. Back set that time, and Whitmarsh, what a turn. And give some credit to David Swatik too. Nice, easy back set over his head.
And And that's what beach volleyball is all about, making the next contact a little bit better. If your partner misses the ball a little bit, you come up, make up for that, and make the better play and help out your partner and give them a good set.
Now the cannon to serve again. That one into the net. So down to earth comes Swatik for a moment. In case you're just joining us, 11-9 Swatik and Whitmarsh over a highly touted, exceptional team of Brazilians, Emmanuel and Loiola, who have been winning all over the world the last 2 months, but have yet to win an AVP event. Swatik, Emmanuel right there. Both back off. It doesn't matter. Emmanuel Rego. And they get off of 9, and it's now 10-11.
Good shot of Emmanuel right there. Just world class, Billy. This is a tough ball. Inside, back. Emmanuel ripping the ball down the middle from the right side. It doesn't get more difficult to put a ball away than that scenario right there.
Emmanuel one step into that serve, and Whitmarsh. Emmanuel, that was going to be very close.
That was a nice hit for Mike Whitmarsh. That ball was sailing back off the net. A poor bump set from Swatik. Whitmarsh taking a nice rip deep cross court. Emmanuel unable to control. Whitmarsh going to go back to Loiola.
Short this time. Now Loiola will back up for his run. Look at Swatik, unbelievable, and out it goes. Oh, David getting wet over there. And the crowd loves the inspiration. Good effort.
Well, you got to take your hat off to Emmanuel and Loiola every time they step on the court on the AVP tour. They both live here in the United States now, but it's not their home turf. The crowd obviously rooting for Swatik and Whitmarsh.
Whitty again, right through the waiting arms of Jose Loiola, who says, my bad, partner. Do I have to get you a jacket?
Shivering up here. The wind's starting to whip.
First time all year. Crowd enjoying themselves immensely here. Huge crowd at Manhattan. Old style volleyball court setup. Whitmarsh gets caught up in the net that time, tries to take a bite out of it.
Boy, Jose Loiola really playing well right now. That was 2 great jump serves that Swatik's ripped at him in a row. He handled them both, took a good look at the court, and just nice little soft cut cross court.
2.5 minutes to play on the clock. Whitmarsh again, he's just working that far side. Whitty hasn't gone down the line in a long time.
And we talked to Jimmy Dominguez. He says it's Swatik's serving that's really making the difference right now. But I think another factor is the Brazilian block. Right now, it's non-existent. They're not penetrating the net. They're not using their jumping ability to the extent that they can, and they're not getting any roofs.
Little line dancing that time for Jose. And remember, Whitmarsh puts up the biggest block on the beach. Going to take a break. When we come back, and Swatik continue to be on fire. We'll see right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to Southern California, the sun-kissed Manhattan Beach AVP Open. Brazil, the country that brought the jump serve in vogue indoors and out.
Shocking the United States in 1984 in Los Angeles in the semifinals. Just served Karchkarai and Steve Timmons off the court. Fortunately for the United States, a double elimination type format came back and beat Brazil in the final.
Well, that jump serving
first gold medal.
Excuse me, MD, but that jump serving talent has migrated its way to the United States and into the body of David Swatik, that's for sure. That one, though, a service error. That one's going to go out. So 2 service errors in a row. This is a double elimination tournament. We played a couple of single elims in succession before here. Started out on Friday. Now this cool Sunday afternoon. Loiola got really up high that time and just poked it into the far deep.
Now Loiola really starting to find his groove siding out. If you're Whitmarsh and Swatik, and you can have the wherewithal to know that this is all happening while you're trying to play, you might want to try and switch things up on Emmanuel.
Swatik. Nobody up. Oh, with authority. Lovely. That is gorgeous if you're a David Swatik fan. They're both teams now in a side-out groove, but you can't side out till sunset like MD and Hav did when they won their first, when the car lights were on, helping you see these serves. In fact, that was your first victory here. It's when St. John was taunting you and Hav a little bit at the end.
Had everything going for him, taunting Hav to the very end, went with an underhand serve just to taunt him even further, served it out, and Hav and I came back and won that first Manhattan.
Getting a hand on it, Emmanuel, but out it goes.
Billy Mack, the clock's at 2:05. The way the teams are siding out right now, it could play a factor. We'll keep our eye on that. Whitmarsh looks like he's going to try Loiola again.
And he is. Easy pass. Loiola block! That's what they came to see, and part of the crowd yelling roof, roof, roof. 2-point lead and 3 away from a title.
Real nice spread block here for Whitmarsh. Gets his right hand over high, takes away the line shot for Loiola. Big block for Whitty.
If Whitmarsh and Swatik could get it to 13, it would really be nervous time for the Brazilians. Clutch hit. In fact, harken back to that Hermosa, where Jose Loiola, in succession, made a couple of clutch, incredible defensive plays to send that one into overtime. So he feels no pain when it comes to nervous time. He knows how to deal with the adversity and pressure. Right there, big dig. Emmanuel, what kind of set will he give him? Left-handed, and out it goes. That's the key there. As good as the defensive play will be, where's your partner going to put you?
Your partner's got to get to the ball first and then give a good set. And unfortunately for Emmanuel, unable to get to that ball in time to give his partner anything to really swing at. Thinking back to that Hermosa Open, it was also Loiola who sprinted under the net and wouldn't leave the other side of the court and caused his team to get a red card.
Free ball? No. Wow. That had all the markings of a free ball, and Loiola somehow really put some smoke on that one.
He put some smoke on it, and the reason it was that Emmanuel, with a great knuckle one-handed set, just getting the ball up high enough for Loiola with his abilities to take a swing at.
Down by 2, short serve. Swatik. Open court, they'll get this one. Swatik faking over on 2, setting Whitmarsh. Loiola was there, but the big kill for Mike Whitmarsh. Good play by both teams, though, there.
Good play by both teams, but unfortunately for Brazil, they're starting to make some defensive plays and not transitioning and not getting the point opportunities from those defensive plays.
1:30 remaining on the clock. Loiola, Whitmarsh, but out of bounds it goes. And back to serve will be Jose Loiola. Down by 2, you must win by 2.
Gotta love volleyball, Billy Mack. You got Loiola going up against Whitmarsh on almost every serve. It's like having McGuire at the plate every at bat.
The crowd hoping for another block. Not now, though. David Swatik, very solid. No huge mistakes.
And Brazil continuing to serve Swatik.
And what rookie, or shall I say, lack of experience nerves that we had seen in previous years with Swatik have gone right out ye old window. What a performance.
And as
7 aces.
As Chris McGee would say, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding? Do I have a witness?
Yahtzee, you name it. Swatik is just dialing it up, ripping this ball down Emmanuel's line. He's missed a few serves, but he's kept the heat on. He hasn't let himself get tentative out there.
You know what? Now comes the point in the match. You love to talk about the hair starting to stand up on the back of Swati's neck. He's 2 points away from a lifelong dream. Great play by Emmanuel. 13-10 with 1:13 remaining.
Any play by Rego into the open court. He goes with the side.
Emmanuel and Loiola will not go away easily. Just won't happen. Whitmarsh, tough pass. Joust. Loiola for a point. Big point. Well, what an even joust that was.
And what a great play by both players. Swatik with the reactions, just getting his hand on the ball after the joust, and Loiola reacting, getting the ball up for the point.
Huge point, too, for the Brazilians. Swatik and Whitmarsh, if they were to win, couldn't do it on this side. Is that in? Yes, it is!
And Billy Mack, that's a huge play for Brazil because they were on the good side, and you don't want to go over to the bad side down 14-11. It's bad enough you're going to be going over to the bad side down 13-12. Big ace for Emmanuel. He's missed a lot of serves this match. He comes back in crunch time when they really needed it and just put one into the coffin corner.
Great serve by Emmanuel Rego. He and Loiola down by only one. What an epic match. Billy Mack and MD back in Manhattan Beach at the pier. The Manhattan Open is back and with you. It's a great final. MD and I are enjoying this. The players are about to make their way back out onto the court. Quickly, though, let's go to Hav on the stage with all the players that have stuck around.
Here on the stage, Matt Unger, Kmart, Selexon. Who's going to win this?
Swati will serve it out. Side out and serve it out.
I love Swati the kid. Couldn't be better final for me. I'm having a great day. I'm having a flashback. I'm going with Hovland and Dodd.
He's been up here for way too long. Back to you guys.
Love that.
Looks like they've been getting a steady supply of Miller Lite to the stage area.
Undoubtedly. Trying to side out David Swatik, and he does. Now let's see if he can serve it out, like his buddies say.
And again, just a little bit of poor technique, but even more so bad luck. Loiola was just right on that spike of Swatik's. The ball just seemed to ricochet off his arms, out of bounds. Another missed blocking opportunity for Brazil.
And it's Whitmarsh serving. Loiola up and down. Just like that. 53 seconds left. Let's not lose track of the time. We're under a minute, 53-3 to be exact. And Loiola to serve. Tough one. Whitty's got to get up. Good dig. Swatik. Down it goes. That joust goes to Manhattan Beach's own David Swatik. And now he has a chance to serve on the good side. He has 7 aces already in the championship match. He's 2 points away from the coveted Manhattan title.
And you can feel the crowd behind him.
Just out. At first I thought it was going to be way out. Then did a little flutter dance and almost found some tape.
An almost identical serve to the one Emmanuel laid out to him in the previous play before the side change.
And the air out of the collective balloon after that one went out. Block, Whitmarsh, Swatik goes over on 2. This could be a tie game right here. And is. We're tied at 13.
That play worked earlier on in the match for Swatik, going over on 1. This time, ill-advised over on 2. The Brazils gobble it up, the Brazilians. We've got ourselves a tie ball game, Billy Mack.
32.8 seconds remaining. With the left hand, there's a net. Net violation by Jose Loiola, and the side out will go to Whitty. Time really not a factor now. You are going to either get to 15 by 2 or win by 2 anyway here, so. At this point, 13-13.
Someone's going to win by getting to 15. The clock is out of the picture.
Out of the picture right now. Emmanuel, big, and Swatik was there.
David Swatik right in position for that defensive play. Just ricocheting off his arms. Like to have that one back.
Loiola to serve.
Now Jose Loiola, and he can rip it. Mike Whitmarsh. You know, you get that big imposing frame of his, and you think he's going to get up there and just pound away. But when Easy does it, will do. Mike Whitmarsh knows.
Doesn't really matter, Billy. The ball's hitting the sand. That's what matters.
Swatik again, trying to get to championship point. Great serve. Emmanuel down deep to get it. That's out. No touch. We're at championship point, and the crowd will come to their feet.
And Emmanuel seeing the block, seeing Whitmarsh so well all match long. Again, the line was open. He rips it down the line just out of bounds. And are the hairs on the back of Swati's neck sticking up now? Brazil taking a sand timeout, trying to calm the crowd down.
Let us set the picture, and then we will let you enjoy it with us. It is 14-13. David Swatik and Mike Whitmarsh with a 1-point lead over Jose Loiola and Emmanuel. David Swatik trying to win in his hometown. He won earlier right down the road this year at Hermosa Beach. And he's trying to make it a South Bay double with his partner, Mike Whitmarsh, against the hottest team in the world right now in Loiola and Emmanuel, in front of a huge crowd as we welcome volleyball back to Manhattan. Everybody up, everybody on their feet. And if the script was to be written perfectly, it would be right here with David Swatik to serve for the title he's dreamed about his entire life.
And Billy Mack, the circumstances couldn't be better. He's got a little breeze in his face. Perfect launch pad to rip the jump serve.
Here we go. Emmanuel. No! It's over!
Billy Mack, has this been a year for David Swatik or what? And let's not forget Mike Whitmarsh, an incredible career, and now he's got a Manhattan Open to go along with everything else.
David Swatik and Mike Whitmarsh stun the Brazilians, Jose Loiola and Emmanuel Rego, who had absolutely dominated the world. But they come back to the AVP and they can't win again. It has been an 0 year for Loiola and Emmanuel. Who would have thought that?
They've just played so well all tournament long. They've been just beating teams right and left. They killed Whitmarsh and Swatik in the finals of the winners bracket. Then they come out here, get a little tight. Whitmarsh and Swatik playing out of their minds, and they steal another open from the Brazilians. A big open, that is.
We're going to take a break. The celebration is just starting here. Trust me. When we come back, Tim Hovland will be with the glorious victors. Thrilling and improbable final in 1999 here at Manhattan Beach as volleyball is back in the Mecca. And Mike Whitmarsh and David Swatik come through as champions, and down with the winners is Tim Hovland.
Be right back. Congratulations, Swati, Whitty, Hermosa in Manhattan in 1 year. How good does that feel?
Oh, it feels awesome, Hav. We've really been struggling the past month, and we just seemed to put it all together this weekend, and Swati played like a god in the finals. That's why we won.
Swati, you had 7 aces in the finals. You're on fire.
Yeah, like you said, it's a special event. We struggled a little bit, and we wondered if we were going to even keep playing together, and it's a great way to end the year.
Swati, congratulations. Whitty, congratulations. Hermosa in Manhattan in 1 year. Very rarely done. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hav. And you were talking to me during the break. That's exactly what happened. As hot as Loiola and Emmanuel have been internationally, Whitmarsh and Swatik have not been playing well here at home.
They've been playing very inconsistently.